Hey guys, Much Wolf here, and before we get into today's video, I want to ask you guys something. So I noticed a lot of you really seem to prefer these more voiceover videos rather than my text-based videos. Now, the reason why I did text-based videos for the compilation albums is because if I tried to do voiceover, the video would take way longer than it needs to be, and I don't want to waste your guys' time. But at the same time, again, you guys really seem to prefer this voiceover style of video. So down in the description below, I'll have a link to a straw poll that I made. Asking if you prefer the voiceover videos or text-based videos. Voiceover videos would be much longer, ranging about like 30 or 40 minutes depending on the length of the compilation album. While text-based video would probably range around 10 minutes at most. Cast your vote in the poll below, and based on how many votes I get, we'll see how the next compilation album ranking goes along since that comes out. I think they should be getting ready to release that sometime soon. Either way, today we are ranking part 2 of the Drop remix package. Let's just cut to the chase and get on with the video. What you waiting for, motherfucking drop this? Kicking things off at number 6, we have the Darren Styles remix. Now, this song has a nice, darker atmosphere during the melody and the intro, but it does seem rather straightforward for a hardcore remix of the drop. Not a whole lot of elements from the original in the first drop to make it really stand out. Although the second drop comes along and it really changed it up, using the main lead from the original mix as the lead for the second drop here in the Darren Styles remix. And I am just the most rambling person on earth. God, I need to learn to speak good. What you waiting for? Motherfucking drop. Number 5 is the Gent and Johns remix. So the intro and build up have a nice little twist to it, but without changing a whole lot of it. But when the drop comes along, it starts to feel underwhelming in terms of what it's done. Because it feels kind of, well, empty. But with the use of the beat and its prepared use of the vocal sample, it doesn't feel completely boring, which I feel is kind of odd considering I'm not usually a fan of the style of a drop, no pun intended. So consider this remix a guilty pleasure of mine. What you waiting for? Motherfucking drop this! Number 4 is the Doublets remix. Right off the bat, with the song, we are greeted with a very hard-hitting festival-style opening that immediately sends a flood of energy. And then we are led into what I believe is a rhythm drop. While maybe a little bit repetitive for its own good, it doesn't last for too long, and the second drop does help change up the playing field a little bit. Plus, I feel it has a pretty good length. Any longer, and it probably would have overstayed its welcome. What you waiting for? At number 3, we have the Francis Darrell remix. However you pronounce that, I have no clue. Anyways, the melody is nice and it's not too different. And it's not too semi from the original mix either. We are led into a surprising bro step drop. That while it doesn't contain many elements for the original, it does have a nice sound design on its own in my opinion. Plus, it doesn't feel too repetitive and there are plenty of elements in this track to keep the drop interesting and exciting. What you waiting for? Motherfucking drop this! Coming at number 2 is an artist I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce. Either Jester or just JSTJR. Someone please tell me how you pronounce this guy's name in the description below. Comments. Fuck. Now the intro has a nice hook to it. It's a somewhat of an echoey kind of style which is typical for most Moonbathon track, which of course leads me to believe that this was going to be a Moonbathon remix, and luckily I was correct. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, I love Moonbathon. Now this remix can basically be described as a basic Moonbathon version of the original mix. If you're a person who's really into Moonbathon, you couldn't ask for a better remix. What you waiting for? coming at number 1 is the Dyro remix. I think I'm also pronouncing that correctly. Fuck, I can't pronounce DJ names. Why do DJ names have to make their names so freaking hard to pronounce? Explain to me. Either way, right off the bat, this track has a really good hook. It presents us with a electric beat which leaves the listener wondering what the possibilities of the drop would be like, no pun intended. Fuck, all the drop puns made in this video unintentionally, fuck. And when the drop does come along, it is freaking killer. It does an excellent job of changing things up, while still leaving traits of familiarity throughout it to make it feel like a proper remix. Plus the repeat you of the What You're Waiting For voice sample also adds a touch of attitude to the track, which is always a plus in my book. And that pretty much wraps this up. Now, if you can tell by now, I think this part 2 is a huge step up from part 1 because part 1 felt very underwhelming to me, but part 2 is a huge step up with much better remixes this time around. And I think that wraps this video up. Also, don't forget, in the description below there is a link to our straw poll where you can vote whether you want text-based videos for compilation albums or voiceover videos for compilation albums. And either one will have a different length range, so keep that in mind when you're voting. Either way, I think that wraps this up. I'm Ash Wolf, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.